Look, as an operations consulting firm that helps small businesses, startups, and nonprofit leverage processes to create peaceful, pleasurable, and profitable businesses, I love SOPs, also known as standard operating procedures. Not only do I love them, but our clients and their teams love them as well because SOPs allows information to exist outside of our brains so that no matter what happens, the business can continue on. And what I mean by this is that if one team member is sick or has to take care of family last minute, that information doesn't go along with them. Another reason why SOPs are wonderful, and I could list so many reasons why, but I'm not going to in this video, is that it minimizes your cognitive load. We talk about this a lot in operations because cognitive load is about how much your brain can hold and at what point does it become too much to the point where everything just falls apart, right? So the more cognitive load your systems and processes can shoulder, the less it is dependent on your brain to succeed. And we also know that brains are not that reliable, which is why wonderful apps like project management apps, calendar management apps, and other schedulers or whatever's allows us as founders and business owners to succeed because the weight is distributed. So you don't have to hold all of this information in your head, nor do you have to expect your team members to do those as well. So our goal here in this video is to help you minimize how much your brain has to juggle by showcasing you the different ways in which you can create SOPs that works with you and how you work best. And while SOPs are amazing, I would be so irresponsible if I didn't talk about this part. The reality is that sometimes creating SOPs feels really overwhelming and heavy, right? You're so busy. You and your team are already so busy wearing so many different hats, juggling so many different irons in the fire. So the last thing you need to do is add more on your plate, right? So in this video, I'm also going to talk about different tips and tricks as to what you can do to minimize the effort that you put in and maximize the results that you get, which is transferring knowledge from individual members' brains into documentation that allows anybody to pretty much take over should whoever's responsible for that task needs to step away for family reasons or vacation reasons. If this is the first time we're meeting, hey, I'm Veronica Jans, founder of Business Laid Bare. At Business Laid Bare, we're very much all about approaching business operations in a people-first and pleasure-filled way because, first of all, you're not a robot, and second of all, cookie-cutter solutions, as we know, don't ever work. Cookie cutters be left in the kitchen. Which is why I'm excited to make this video. So hit that like button if you are too and excited to learn about SOPs in a way that makes sense for your brain. And be sure to subscribe for more content like this that helps you create an immensely peaceful, pleasurable, and profitable business through the magic of processes. My team and I have worked with hundreds of clients from wellness to NGOs, agencies, subscription boxes, tech startups, online businesses, handmade bags, and many other industries in between. And we've found that the methods for creating SOPs falls into these three big categories: audio, written, and video. I'm sure there are plenty more out there, but I wanted to focus on these three because it's realistically what we've seen. And frankly, you don't need more to be effective. These three options have been plenty enough for our clients to scale to 7 figures and beyond with ease. And before I get started, I really want to emphasize this one point that I say to my clients all the time, so I feel like it merits me saying it to you. SOPs, like the rest of your operations, aren't just a one and done situation. You don't one-night stand your operations, so therefore they are living and breathing documents that get updated and better over time. So focus on progress over perfection, and the point of creating SOPs is, yes, to convey information and how-to instructions, but when we are able to get that information across in a way that comes most naturally to you, it's a win-win, which is why I'm creating this video today so that I can spark some ideas within you and get you excited to create SOPs for your business. All right, option 1, audio. Explaining how to do something verbally is very common, very natural, and can actually be highly effective. It's actually the default thing that we humans go towards when we want to explain something, right? If you want to teach somebody something, oftentimes you'll walk up to them, whether in a in-person manner or in a virtual manner, and say, hey, so-and-so, this is how you get this done. You do X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But this is the type of SOP that is actually the least documented because it is the most spontaneous of SOPs, because it's so much easier to just walk up to someone and say, hey, by the way, you're going to do this, right? Here's how you do it. And the reason why a lot of people would actually benefit from creating audio SOPs is because maybe you're in the field a lot or you're on the go, and it's better to convey your directions and wishes and standards than not to do that at all. So the key part in creating audio SOPs is to find a way to get this documented so you don't have to feel like a broken record. Trust me, if you say something twice, the chance of you repeating yourself a third time or more down the line will be highly likely. What I have suggested to clients who like creating verbal SOPs is to get those instructions recorded. If it's recorded, at minimum, it can be replayed, and then if we up-level that, it can be transcribed to text using services or apps, because not everybody learns the same. What may be easy for you to just listen and comprehend might be actually really hard for me because I have to actually read it. So set me up for success by going the extra mile and recording it and then transcribing it. Historically, I've uploaded my audio SOPs to otter.ai, but if you actually have a better solution, can you comment below and tell me what that would be? Because lately, their output efficacy is just too low for my liking. It doesn't even read like English anymore, and I swear I am speaking in a pretty slow and normal way. You can also use an app to record your voice and immediately transcribe it to text as you're speaking. Speech-to-text capabilities are pretty normalized now. How I have suggested for my clients to do this is to actually open up a Google document and click on the voice typing feature and just to start talking, because once you're done talking, and even if it's very colloquial and conversational, you'll at least have something that you or somebody else can go back and edit, and perhaps even add more context to it. Like if there's a photo that you would be best referencing, someone can just drop that right in there. Option number 2, written SOPs. This method is a classic for a reason. It's direct, it's detailed, and it serves as an excellent reference point. And if the written word is your thing, my favorite tip is to make your SOPs easy to access and update in the cloud. So things like Notion, Google Docs, Dropbox Paper, Evernote, if that still exists, ClickUp Docs, whatever it is that allows you to create documents in the cloud without having to update things like version 2_edited.Microsoft Word document is a big win. Okay, so let me be honest. No matter how you create SOPs, whether they be verbal, in a video, or with diagrams, they should all funnel and eventually end up as a written format at some point. Meaning, your audios should get transcribed, your how-to videos should get turned into a written document with screenshots and images to support what you're trying to convey. And the reason why I suggest this is because it allows you to keep really good records that are easy to update, as well as making sure that different people with different learning needs get their needs met. For instance, I love making videos, and it's also really easy for me to follow video instructions because I'm a very visual learner. But other people on my team may not, and might actually do better by having both the video format available as a reference document, but then maybe when they get to work, having it written so that they don't have to keep pausing and playing, or however it is that their brain works. So what I do is I often link my video to the source document inside my Google Doc or wherever it is I'm writing that SOP. And of course, because we're human, sometimes writing just gets really tedious, right? So apps like Scribe and Tango basically allow you to create a written document by it screenshotting your different movements on your computer and turning it into a step-by-step guide so that you don't have to take screenshots or put images in your SOPs. What SOPs are important to your organization? I'd love for you to comment below, not only to share, but to give other folks watching ideas on what SOPs they could be creating for their businesses. Option number 3,
Video. So video SOPs are my personal favorite because it just works with the way that my brain operates. I'm a verbal processor and a visual learner, so any chance I get to convey and communicate something with my voice is often more effective than me typing it, and I can do it that much more efficiently. So my favorite way to create video SOPs is through this website called loom.com. And the reason why Loom just excels in my book is because the moment I'm done recording something, all I have to do is share a link. Overall, it's just really seamless and a win in my book. Don't forget, you can create video SOPs with your smartphone as well. Like, use what you have. If you are a business or an organization that's not at your desk 24/7 like I am, making Loom videos and you're out in the field, using your smartphone is really beneficial because you have to document things. Why not teach somebody how to use a tractor, how to operate a tractor with your smartphone? Or if you're a soap making company like our client is, we have to help them document the process that the soap goes through from start to finish so that they can delegate this making process to their team members. When it comes to making SOPs, just like what we tell our clients when it comes to their operations, it needs to be not only efficient, but effective. There's no point in being effective if it's not efficient, and there's no point in being efficient if it's not effective. So when I can accomplish something both efficiently and effectively, it's always a win in my book. If I can spend 5 minutes recording a how-to video and teaching somebody what I know rather than spending 30 minutes or longer writing an SOP, I'm going to go to the method that gets the job done quicker. And like I said earlier, I can always take the video and turn it into a written document or have somebody else on my team do it for me who's much better at it and much more efficient at it. And if you're worried about Loom and having to sign up for another software, I totally get it. You don't have to use Loom. Use what you have. So whether it's using things like QuickTime on your computer, or if you happen to have Zoom and you can record yourself screen sharing, like open a fake meeting, screen share, and record your SOP, that's a win too. Just get creative about it. The best tip that I can give you if video SOPs are your thing is to slow down when you are giving instructions. Like if it takes you like no longer than 5 minutes to schedule a social media post and you're trying to delegate that process out, I would slow it down, explain what you're doing, be really intentional about where you click, like say, oh, I gotta go to this top right-hand corner and click this button. It really helps the person that's learning because you know this process, right? So fast, right? You're teaching it to someone who may not know this at all. And so to slow down your video SOPs is only gonna help them in the long run. Give more details, be more intentional, slow down. Option number 4, diagrams. Okay, so I only told you that there were 3 main categories, but I also wanted to showcase a bonus one because diagramming is actually very important. I mean, clearly I have a whole video on how to create process maps, right? So use that video in conjunction with this to create diagram-focused SOPs. Now, I know when you think of SOPs, you might not immediately picture flowcharts and diagrams, but stick with me here. Because for processes that have a bit of a, like say, choose your own adventure scenario, this approach is really helpful because humans are actually naturally very visual. We've also seen diagram-focused SOPs succeed really well when clients have to showcase a really complex process. So if they diagram out a process map and there's sub-workflows within sub-workflows, we've actually recommended that each step in the workflow could be its own SOP. So depending on how many people touch this process, if they click into the SOP relating to each step, it's almost like the diagram is this home base, this centralized place where people start, and depending on where they fill in, they can click on the step to take them to the appropriate SOP. So if diagramming is something that would benefit your team for SOPs, go forth and create. My tip here for you would be to actually record a little video walkthrough explaining what this flowchart diagram SOP represents, just to give some context and how to use it. Like people might not understand this flowchart right away. So creating even A 1 to 2 minute video explainer saying, hey, before you go into this SOP, watch this, goes a long way. Apps you can use for creating flowcharts. My favorite is Miro. You can use Whimsical. You can use Lucidchart, PowerPoint, Google Slides. There's a lot of options, even Canva, as long as you're able to create visuals and lines and arrows connecting each other. So I wholeheartedly believe that everything in your business can and should be documented so that there are no bottlenecks that hinder the business from running smoothly. And if you're going, Veronica, I'm sold and ready to create SOPs, but you get stuck on not knowing what SOPs to create, I've got you. Download the Essential Business Operations Toolkit, where I not only give you 100 plus SOPs your business needs, from operations to sales to marketing to HR and more, to get your SOP juices flowing, but the toolkit is jam-packed with other operations resources that will help you run an immensely peaceful, profitable, and pleasurable business too. I've linked the toolkit down in the description. Creating standard operating procedures shouldn't feel like a chore. It's about finding the method that best suits your style and making it work for you and your team. Whether you're a fan of the spoken word, the written detail, or the dynamic video, or even a diagram, there's a little bit of something for everyone. So find something that works for you. And remember, SOPs are living and breathing documents. They evolve and they improve and they grow, just like your business. So, with that being said, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.